What is going on, everyone? We're going head-to-head week one of the college football season, the marquee matchup between Auburn and Oregon. I'm Sisler with AL.com. This is Cubelic with three-man front over here at Jocks Radio. He's also on the SEC Network. You'll catch him throughout the season on various games throughout the SEC. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. So the opening line coming into it, 6.5-point favorite for Auburn despite being ranked lower. And that has now since dropped to 3.5-point favorites. And Cole, just looking at this marquee matchup, what is it that intrigues you most about this football game?
Oh, it's easy. For me, this is the best position group matchup of the college football season. Now, part of that is it's week one. Both of these teams have high expectations. Both of these teams win this game. They have a chance to really surprise some folks, maybe be even in the mix for the college football playoff. But the Oregon offensive line, with Penei Sewell and Throckmorton and Lemieux going up against Derek Brown, Nick Coe, Marlon Davidson, and that Auburn defensive line, which I believe is the best defensive line in college football. That's as good as it gets in college football. So we can talk about the LSU secondary against the Alabama receivers or the Georgia O-line against the Auburn D-line. We don't know what those teams are going to look like then. Both of these teams have a chance to make a statement right now. Both of these teams have a chance to win this game, skyrocket up the rankings, and as of week two, moving forward, be in the mix for the college football playoff. So for me, it's easy. I want to see what Bo Nix is going to do. A couple other things I want to see, like Justin Herbert against that secondary, but make no mistake. The Auburn D-line against the Oregon offensive line is the matchup across the board in college football for me in 2019.
Yeah, and I think that this is really going to be a tone setter for both football teams. Obviously, true freshman quarterback coming in for the first time since, 1946 at Auburn. Huge change up for them. Obviously not something they're accustomed to. Then on the other side of it, you have Oregon, a team that wants to be relevant in the Pac-12. So it's going to be interesting to see how this Oregon team matches up against Auburn. Can they compete, especially that O-line versus the Auburn defense? And you said it there. I think one of the biggest recruiting wars that this Auburn football team won, Kevin Steele said it during the spring football game, was the fact that they were able to bring those guys back. Derek Brown, Marlon Davidson, those front seven. That was huge for them, bringing them into this matchup. And so I think that is going to be where a lot of this football game is won. I got this as a low-scoring affair. It's not going to be too many points put on the board. Certainly going to be an interesting matchup. So that's where I'm looking to. Any key players that you want to point to?
Well, I think Justin Herbert, number one for Oregon. I mean, obviously, we talk about that offensive line. We can talk about Verdell at tailback. He's a guy that doesn't get a lot of mention. But, I mean, this is on Justin Herbert. Is he going to make the right decisions? Is he going to make the right checks? Kevin Steele has a lot of versatility on this defense. Now, you have new linebackers across the board, yes, but think about Marlon Davidson. He can play inside, he can play outside. Nick Coe can play inside, can play outside. T.D. Moultrie, Big Cat Bryant. They can be edge rushers. They can drop if they need to. And then on the back end of that defense, you think about Jeremiah Denson, Smoke Monday, Noah Igbenogany. These are guys that can play corner. They can play safety. They can come up and play in the box. They have speed and athleticism. The versatility of this Auburn defense could create a lot of confusion for Justin Herbert. How does he handle the moment? An SEC opponent, a great defensive line, probably going to be under pressure. The stage of being in Dallas and not only playing for Oregon, but like you mentioned earlier, Lauren, playing for the Pac-10, or the Pac-12, having a lot to prove for that conference. So I think it goes further than just Auburn, Oregon for the quarterback.
And then, of course, on the other side of that, the quarterback with Bo Nix being named the starter, obviously settling in as a quarterback. The lights are going to be shining bright. It's going to be nerve-wracking. But I really think that when you get into the second half of that football game, that's going to be where you're really going to see, how well this Auburn offense can perform behind Bo Nix. Is he settling into that role? And so a lot of question marks there. And, of course, I think we'll learn a lot there, especially in the first half of that football game. So that gets us to our prediction time. And guess what? I'm going to pick Auburn in this one, and it's going to be, like I said, not too many points scored, but hey, I'm going to go with a mirror image of what we saw. Maybe not in terms of what we saw out on the field in terms of performance, but I'm going 24-20. Auburn going to win this one. The Miami-Florida game, same score, a bit sloppy. Hopefully we won't see as much slop in this football game.
I don't think you'll see as much slop, but I agree with you. Two veteran offensive lines, a couple of good tailbacks, one young quarterback is going to probably try to protect the ball a little bit. I think both run games attempt to get going, try to eat some clock, try to maintain possession. I'm going to go 21-14 Auburn. I think Bo Nix does just enough to help Auburn find a way to get a win. They lean on the defense in the run game, and Oregon does not have enough defensively in the fourth quarter to be able to slow down the Auburn Tigers.